Thank you, gentlemen. Next, we have a four-year letter winner, team captain, team MVP, starter on the 78, 79 NC2A championship tournament team. Still ranks as the number 4 all-time in career shooting percentage at 46.6%, which in my book meant he didn't shoot enough. Whatever. And although he never played with or was coached by Jeff, he did circle back to USAFA as a captain, as the Air Force assistant water polo coach, and the exec to the athletic director. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel retired Joe Wotton, class of '81.
So the words being yelled sometimes I think are different. Power, swim, I answer to all. Boy, Daryl, you suck. But we're gonna give it our best shot. Jeff, yeah, historic, epic, unbelievable, amazing. All these words have been tossed out. Last night, tonight, I'm going to add my own set of superlatives to that list. But first, I have to thank you for finally retiring. Many of us have waited a long time to say these wonderful things in a public setting. There's no ability to escape our compliments, to say, oh, it was nothing, or change the subject. We've waited years to say in this setting these long overdue and very well deserved positive words about Bart. Well, you know that cliche, and Daryl, you hit it on the head. Behind every great man is an equally great woman. They got it wrong. I think it should state beside every great man, or in front of every great man is an equally great woman. I arrived here back in April of 1988, freshly divorced. I had 2 kids in tow. And I had the great blessing of my mom moving in with me to help Jeff coach the team. And you can imagine how humbling that was, having your mom move in at the age of 30 to help you raise your kids. She just, yay moms. And so I got to spend a lot of quality time at Bart as that assistant coach. And I was reevaluating what kind of partner I wanted in life. I had to do that because I just finished something that was fractured. I didn't know what I should have, what I would want. But in exposure with you, I was able to see that I wanted someone who was articulate, well-informed, athletic, funny, inclusive, welcoming, had a sense of adventure, loved to laugh, and most importantly was supportive and devoted to her marriage, family, as well as a terrific mom. So Barb, for me, my deepest thanks to you, because as I navigated single parenthood, living and raising my children with the help of my mom, you helped me find my way to that one. So I got married halfway through my tour here. Probably way too late, in my opinion, knowing what I know now. But you and Jeff, and these 3 right here, were huge factors in making those last 2 years of my assignment with Debbie both magical and a wonderful start to that life that we had together. So thank you very much. From all of us here, thank you for the extensive time you allowed us to have Jeff at the pool on our competition trips and for recruiting trips. And then when you finally had him back at home, you opened up our house to all the families and had monster cookies and so many barbecues and dually dining outs. And hey, I'm in town. What about stopping by? All those pop-up events. You just said, sure, come on over. And all of us benefited from that inclusive environment. Your presence beside Jeff enabled him so much for what we're celebrating today. You're amazing, and we love you. shadow of accomplished parents, people that seem to have it all together, who always seem to have the answers, who outwork other people and excel at using their talents. It makes life challenging at times. You three have definitely probably had to think about, am I going to actually measure up to what they've set forth in this life? And let me assure you, you have the biggest fans in those two right there. It's clear to anyone who asks them how they're doing, how their kids are doing, that their pride in you, their love for you, and the easily apparent joy that they get to claim you as their own knows no bounds. I experienced that last night with that conversation with you. And during our European sailing adventure, Debbie and I had so much fun with the three of you, and them too. It was so awesome getting to know you guys with those casual conversations and some actually pretty intense debates about politics, religion, and because where we were in the crucible of religion and going through Rome and Greece and things like that. We talked about card games and cribbage. Yeah, these three, they're badass. You don't want to go up against them. But we had a lot of great evenings shared over meals and things like that. My only issue with you guys is I have a continued Nutella addiction, but that's another issue we'll discuss later. So it was cool to see you then, and even more so today. And the pride and love in your parents' eyes when they look at you on that sailing trip has only gotten more profound with the passing years. So thank you for sharing both your mom and dad with us over the years. I appreciate you. And Jeff, when we reflect on your day job, it's outside of all of what you've done in Air Force water polo, Colonel Spedman, Colonel Clyde, you've reflected on that already. You've been the Cal Ripken, the Hall of Famer, the capstone of the athletic department. And I use that term capstone different than what, George, you used the term foundation in one of those interviews about what Jeff has meant to this place. Well, in a bridge, the capstone is the key component of that arch. If you don't have the capstone, it falls apart. You've been that bridge across so many generations of leadership here. You've stayed. You've given continuity to so many issues. You said, no, we did this time, we did it that way. We've done this, we've done that. You have sustained it behind the scenes in so many instances. Isaiah 6:8 says, who shall I send and who will go for us? And for the athletic department, when we had to send someone to the Hill to make the case for athletics, the best answer over the years was Jeff. Who had no problem saying, here I am, send me. We talked about fingerprints. You've got them all over the academy. There's no place we can go where we're not going to see it. The cadet schedule has changed. We talked, Colonel Spedman highlighted the things that you've done at the national level between the three different academies. You've advocated things that were unpopular at the time in terms of the, let's not do some of these hazing things because the kids aren't going to use this when they go out to the field. They're actually going to have to relate to people, this crap that we do to each other. It's not good. You were that lone voice in the wilderness many times saying, let's not do this. And here we are at a different point, having different types of officership training because of your voice. And that's just a small sample size. Your visible impact on the athletic facilities. Those of us who walked around the other day, we saw it in a very real and tangible way. That took some tenacity to stay with it. I mean, that's been like a, 15, 20-year project. And it happened. You made it happen because of what you did. You stayed with it. You stayed here. It's easy to get an assignment and walk away from all the problems. And you didn't. You stayed. You saw it through. And so the benefit of your vision is going to be seen and felt by so many future generations of cadets. And it's not just the water polo players. Some of my memorable moments, I arrived in April of '88. Jeff said we have to take the guys on a summer trip. I didn't know we got to do this. Summer trip to California, it's awesome. But Jeff wasn't going to go this time, so I had to go on my own because one of you three were arriving or had just arrived. So I got to go on my own. And we were going into Dave Cheney's backyard, Santa Cruz. So I got to experience life on the road with a bunch of cadets, and I think it was a fast rewind back to the early days of the Jeff Heidmous era. Because we had Cheney there, we had Dave's father, we had Cheney's sister, and all the other people that got included in that circle in an RV. Fortunately, I don't think there's any pictures that exist from that. The only interaction, there's always, the only interaction I'd really had at that time was I was in the weight room significantly because Jeff said, hey, get these guys on their weight training program, get in there with them, supervise. And I thought, I was a twig at that point. I'd just been, like I said, freshly divorced, I was skinny as a rail. I thought I'd get in there and show my stuff. Well, as we do, we give people nicknames, and that's where I picked up the name of Power. I mean, Power was not necessarily in the best sense. DC Conroy gave that to me because I was not lifting very heavily. And it was it was very powerful in a very negative sort of way. But name stuck, here we are. It was the beginning of a beautiful relationship, though. When you guys moved off base, your backdoor neighbor lamented that fact because, quite frankly, she enjoyed looking out the back door and taking a peek at all of these guys that were doing volleyball and other things. She was like, leaving me. I can understand that. Jeff, you always had the guys' issues up on the hill. And anywhere else. At Spano, you're a living example of that, how he advocated for you like nobody's business. And he had my back too when I was asked to be Colonel Boone's exec. And that was a tremendous thing for me because I knew it was going to impact my career in a very positive way. But it also was going to impact you because I was going to do less as an assistant coach. And you didn't stand in the way of that. And I will be forever grateful for you because that very well could have been the thing that got me promoted to the next rank. I don't know, but you allowed me to go. Now, you didn't have my back when I had my bachelor party. You allowed these guys to take me to places that I would not have gone on my own, consume things that I probably should not have, and allowed them to take various pictures, which I believe there's turbans involved and relatively little else. And there's pictures of, I think, Smitty holding a clear plastic bag with precious bodily fluids in it. But I don't know about these things because no one has shared these pictures other than maybe one time in, I don't know, at end of your banquet. But the one thing you did do, which was tremendously beneficial, I do remember distinctly one of the few things from that evening was glasses of water being handled to me continuously by using the ring this. The headache the next day was much less as a result. Brad Reed, another memory. We have a tendency to name people in the spur of the moment. You had a counseling session with him. Pool said, Reed, you gotta stop mugging people. You're gonna get kicked out again and again and again. Fast forward about a minute into the next session, and he's getting mugged by somebody. He turns around and belts him right on the cheek, splits his cheekbone open. Guy is spewing blood, whistle blows. Well, the guy who got hit swung back at Brad. So Brad's thinking, I'm out. No. They got the second foul. He is still in, and you're screaming at him to go back in. But from the bench comes the mugger! Another name was born. During one of our conference championships, I think it was the first year I was here, we had been trying to encourage Dave Cheney to be dominant like we needed to be. In one sequence, something happened. I don't know what it was. There was a lot of wrestling going on in front of the cage. And the next 3 sessions down, Cheney demanded the ball, took the ball and scored. Basically put the game out of reach. And they called timeout. You got to stop this, this run. So we come on over and talking it up. Cheney, what caused this? Well, coach, he grabbed me, there. And so, okay, all right, going back out. And then simultaneously, when he swam on back out, Bobby was grabbed there again. We didn't wish too much pain on you, Shane, but it really was awesome the way you were playing that time. Anyway, Deb would stay up late to hear stories about what went on the trips. And I could never remember them all because there were so many. It was just such a wonderful, terrific time. For the few classes that don't have a direct or deep connection to Jeff, this is a life-saving network if you ever choose to use it. It's so powerful. Please use it, both for the friendships, but if you need to reach out to somebody, these people will be there for you. In the Christmas movie, It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart, George Bailey, he stays home. He does all the little things to make life better for his neighbors and his friends. And all the while, others are off making money and getting fame. But that character exhibits the best of what we refer to as service before self. Why are we all here? Because of the perspectives of our life events and reflecting on what made us who we are and why we got here are so profoundly and positively influenced by you, Jeff. It's apparent to all of us that you put others first before yourself. We're those beneficiaries. Even at the end of this incredible run, However, you reminded us of us last night, the gift that you wanted is directed towards the team. It could fund a heck of an adventure for you guys, but you're sending it. You're an amazing servant leader. Your fingerprints, they're on our hearts, and they're throughout our lives. The years we all spent at the academy with you as either a teammate, player, or as an assistant will always be key highlights of our lives. Congratulations, as you end this most significant era to date, because it's only going to get better of Air Force water polo. We're all on board to help Ryan get to the next level. But we're eager to help you embark as you write the next chapter with beds in our homes, some food and drink, and the ears to hear of the adventure of the Heidmous nationwide tour. Our best wishes at your captain.
That's why they invented Hallmark.